Guys, remember that I promised to share with you my list of the best 7 rap artists in Africa, and a lot of people are really excited about this particular list so far, while some other persons may find their own contrary opinion to this. And don't fail to put your own opinion in the comment section below so that we can still talk and expand the topic to an extent. I have to share this list with you guys because it is an interesting thing to know that rap is gradually coming alive in Africa. I'll be counting from number 7 down to number 1, and it's going to be exciting so far. Number 7 on my list is a person of Black Bones. Black Bones is signed to Chocolate City, and this guy is one of the biggest artists on that record label. And he was recently invited to Hip Hop at 50 and did a lot of scintillating performances at that event. And a lot of people are really excited to say, Black Bones, you are on number 7 and one of the biggest artists in terms of rap in Nigeria. Number 6 on my list is a person of AKA. AKA is a South African artist, and this guy was recently shot dead, and a lot of people can really understand that before he died, he did a lot of works in terms of rap, and we have to leave him on number 6 on this particular list. What is your own take about him being on number 6? I want you to put that in the comment section. Number 5 on my list is a person of Olamide. Olamide is a rap artist. This guy is just like a rap god to an extent, and I think Olamide, his indigenous rap style, has actually crafted a niche for a lot of people, not only him in the industry, and he has put himself on the map over the years based on the albums which he's released and based on the record label he's been a boss of. And he has one of the biggest record label in Nigeria, and we have to commend Olamide. Number 4 on my list is Calligraph Jones. This guy is one of the biggest rap artists from the Kenya zone. I think this guy has a lot to actually offer in the music industry. I keep on saying that he needs more exposure. That is what I keep saying, because they need to actually invest in this guy so that he can be heard globally. What is your own take about this? I want you to put that in the comment section. Number 3 for me is Nasty C. This guy is a South African rapper. This guy has actually impacted in the rap sector in South Africa to an extent, and is one of the loudest rapper from Africa, and we can really commend him based on his contribution to the rap industry in Africa. I think rap is coming alive through these guys. Number 2 on my list is Sarkodie. Sarkodie is a Ghanaian artist and a Ghanaian rapper, and this guy is one of the fastest rapper on the continent. I think I have to commend Sarkodie because he's been on this particular list for over 10 years right now. That is not easy at all. What is your own take about this list? I want you to put that in the comment section. Number 1 on my list is M.I. Abaga. M.I. Abaga is one of the biggest rap artists on the continent, if not the best so far, based on some people's list. Based on my list, is the best rapper on the continent right now, based on his prowess, his achievements, and most of his works and creativity. What is your own take about this list so far? I want you to put that in the comment section so that we can talk about it further. I'll be sharing with you the most streamed Afrobeat artists on Spotify for 2023. That is a big issue right now. A lot of people are really excited about the list, while some other persons are wishing their artist was on the list at a time like this. I'll be counting from number 5 down to number 1. On number 5, we have People Libianca. Libianca is a Cameroonian artist based in US, and she has this amazing and exciting track that came in from her in 2023, and that song has been on chart ever since, and a lot of people are really excited to associate with her. But she came out at a recent interview to say, you know what, I'm not a Nigerian, I don't sound like a Nigerian, because they were asking her a question, why does she sound Nigerian?
I don't sound Nigerian, I sound like me.
I've been drinking more.
On number 4, we have Charm. Rema is a fantastic artist, and this guy was able to have about 1 billion streams on a song on Spotify, and that is a welcome development. In 2023, this guy is among the most streamed artists on Spotify right now, and he has a song called Charm that is trending at a time. On number 3, we have 22 by J.O. He's a fast rising Nigerian artist, and this guy has a song called 2022. That is one of the biggest stream on Spotify in 2022, and we have to like give him applause at a time like this. Number 2, we have Soweto, Victoni featuring Rema, Don Toliver, and Tempo. That is a big one that is coming in, and a lot of people are really excited to see artists from Nigeria dominate this list so far. The number 1 is Unavailable from Davido. This Unavailable is on Davido's Timeless album that has been nominated for the Grammy Awards right now. He was able to put himself in 3 categories at the Grammy, and a lot of people are really looking forward to see Davido winning at least a Grammy. What is your own take about this list so far? I want you to put that in the comment section. Before I jump off, I want to say thank you guys for watching our videos, and thank you for the love so far. If you are new here, you can click the subscribe button below, the bell notification icon to always get notifications each time we upload our videos. Guys, you see what Ghana is really suffering right now? Nigeria suffered it in the 50s and the 60s. I need to actually explain to you guys about all of this, and we took almost their own steps, but somebody, Fela, actually came to change the narratives, and we should be appreciative of the fact that Fela brought in Afrobeat that changed the music culture in Africa. In the 50s and the 60s, High Life from Ghana, the likes of Emmanuel Tete Mensah actually took over Nigerian music environment with the High Life from Ghana to an extent. A lot of people in Nigeria were quite dazzled with this, while some people were really envious of the fact that Ghana is taking over Nigerian music industry with their own High Life. That culminated into something else at that time. Right now, Nigeria is reigning global. That is something you need to understand, and a lot of countries in Africa are not really comfortable with the fact that Nigeria is dominating even in their own music industry. That is something we really need to be careful about, because if we fight with envy in our mind, I think you cannot really win the fight. You have to be systemic, and you have to be collaborative to an extent, and make Nigeria to understand the need to also export your music to the nooks and cranny of this world. As at the time Ghana was dominating our airwaves in 1956, the Nigerian Musician Association or Union came out with a particular policy, internal policy, to make sure they stop, Ghana High Life from being performed at clubs in Nigeria to an extent. And that really didn't sit well to an extent, because a particular member of that music association in Nigeria was already in love and collaborating with Ghanaians to an extent at that time. That is a person of Bobby Benson, who owns a club also. This guy decided to go into the studio and make a song called Taxi Driver, which actually made Nigeria to be popular at that time, and a lot of people encouraged him to do more at that time. It was not easy for Nigerians to compete with Ghana on this particular issue, because Ghana was already ahead in terms of High Life. In 1962, the NBC, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, was instructed by the government to show love and to show affection and loyalty to Nigerian brand to an extent by actually playing Nigerian songs on radio at that time. But that didn't sit well, because there were insiders actually fighting this particular thing, because we believe that Ghana was still our brothers at that time. Although a lot of rancor, a lot of things happened until Fela came in with a new revolution in the music industry. In 1971, Fela broke in with Afrobeat in the Nigerian music industry. That was it for Nigeria to an extent. You need to understand how the fight went. If we had told the line of High Life, Ghana was already ahead. But the likes of Fela decided to say, let us bring a tweak to this and to actually make it our own brand to an extent. And that is what you see as Afrobeat right now, which has become a global phenomenon to an extent. Afrobeat from Fela took on High Life, took on jazz, funk, and other sounds to actually make a unique sound for himself. And that dominated the airwaves in the 70s to an extent. In the 90s, the likes of Remedy, Plantation Boys, Two Face, and a lot of others actually took the airwaves to an extent. And that is to show you that Fela actually charted a course and they decided to make it Afrobeats because Fela came in with Afrobeats. And now Nigerians decided to say, let us put more value to it. Let us put more flesh to this and make it Afrobeats to an extent. That is why you see Nigeria dominating the airwaves. And the invention of platforms have made it easier for these countries not to be able to fight Nigerian music to an extent. Because if you do, a lot of people are already globalized in terms of Nigerian Afrobeat, and you cannot win the race. All you have to do is to collaborate with Nigeria to help you export your sound, which South Africa is really doing with their Amapiano. Nigerians are taking on Amapiano and exporting it to other parts of the world. In Canada, in US, Amapiano is really, really the game right now. Kosi, Nigeria, because they cannot play Amapiano in those countries without playing Nigerian songs on it. And that is to show you that Nigeria has decided to help export their sound. Checking the global recognition from Grammy, you see that Nigerians with Amapiano sounds were really nominated for the Grammys, and that is a dominance in the music environment. All they need right now is collaboration with Nigeria to chart this course. That is to show you how Nigeria got it right, charting a new course in the Afrobeat sector. Another unique thing about Nigeria. We will talk more about this in our next video. Guys, trending on social media right now is the story of TB Joshua, a documentary story that was released by BBC, and a lot of people are really talking about it, and it's all trending out on social media. We need to be careful when this issue comes out. Both believers in the faith and non-believers are really talking about it, and you need to understand that the media has been hijacked by some persons to kind of destroy some persons or nations. That is something you need to understand about the whole thing. The advent of Donald Trump in US actually made us to understand that they can use the media to remove a government whom they don't like. That is what we need to actually understand about the whole thing. But right now in Africa, a lot of people are taking it to be a Nigerian problem or Nigerian thing. This is not a Nigerian thing. This is a global issue. We need to get to understand. We should not be brainwashed in this particular thing. Already many people that are believing that this story from BBC is actually true. They are those people that does not believe the man before in the first place, or don't really like the man, and they are coming out with this kind of story. While some other persons are in the other device, they believe that yes, BBC could be influenced to make this kind of story. Why didn't they bring out the story when he was alive? And some people are really coming out, like Idris Abdul Karim said, BBC has no right to actually put out the story if they've not put out a story on how the colonial masters treated Nigerians, Gold Coast, Ghana, and other countries in Africa. They've not done well enough to put that kind of story out there, and that is really disturbing to an extent, and I cannot really attest to the fact to say that BBC is actually wrong, because we've seen where they become biased, especially telling African stories to the world to an extent to make it look like yes, they are the saints. When our politicians steal money from African soil, where do they take this money to? They take it to this country. The case of lithium being stolen from Africa, petroleum being stolen from Africa, and gold being stolen from Africa, some of our mineral resources being stolen from Africa, where are they going to? Do we find documentary actually exposing the culprit of these things? That is what a lot of people are really asking. Ghanaians, I listened to a particular podcast show, Ghanaian podcast show. They actually did well enough to elaborate on all of these things, talking about their words and all these kind of things. I want you to catch a glimpse before I dive into the story.
The conspiracy theories here for the social media right now, not be small. Where right now agenda boys within the feast.
Yes, from the discussion, though some of them were sounding biased, while some were sounding neutral, I kind of respect their effort of trying to balance the whole talk.